So, in case you haven't heard, viral. McDonald's reveals new employee uniforms, and the internet has mixed opinions. So, in the near future, you stop at your local McDonald's. When I say local, the one every third block. Jeans, joggers, bucket hats, beanies, and bandanas are among the garments McDonald's staff will be allowed to wear as a part of the new uniform trial. The fast food chain said it's launching its new inclusive uniform to allow employees to wear clothing they feel most comfortable in and best reflects their own identity. And basically a lot of buzzwords these days. And if you can see the picture, if you're a visual listener, anyway, some examples are people that I don't know, if you're just walking down the street, you probably can't even tell that they work at McDonald's. I mean, maybe a red shirt is a kind of a giveaway that they work somewhere. Is wearing a red shirt a sign that a person works somewhere? Anyway, so as this thing describes, they're trying to implement a new system where people can have a more casual uniform while they're working at McDonald's. And yeah, I mean, casual definitely fits the description. Again, if you're looking at these people, they don't look like they work at McDonald's, especially this last individual. I don't even see an M anywhere on this thing. I don't see any.
No, I think it's on the sleeve, the end of the yeah, right there.
We got to zoom in and hands. But yeah, yes. While some of the uniforming is a bit more conspicuous, I suppose the conversation that you could have is like, when you go into McDonald's or when you go take this outside McDonald's, when you go inside a store, you want to be able to easily identify the employees there. Another relatively trademark thing that comes to mind is when you're in Target, the people wearing the red shirt, you can easily tell, hey, you work here. Can you point me to the direction of the organic chalk covered pretzels? Whatever you desire. So whatever they took out of the system, what if they said you can literally go on you can literally wherever you want at Target? Would you find it to be an issue, or do you think people that do work in these type of service retail industries should be allowed to wear whatever they want? It's not like they're like the military. Why should they have to wear a whole uniform? What do you think, Ghost? Do you think the casual uniforms, if that's even a thing, are cool or kosher, or do you think that you would like to see employees in some type of uniform?
As long as there's some type of identifier that shows you work at the place and you're not like super unprofessional, I do not care what any worker wears. I don't think anyone else should care either. People already talk shit about fast food workers and retail workers saying, "Oh, they're lazy, they're stupid, they don't know what they're doing." So if that's the case, then why do you have an issue with them wearing casual clothing because they're that useless regardless? This is not my stance, by the way, but people that are getting bent out of shape about this it's stupid. Let them wear whatever they want as long as there's some type of way to tell that they work there. That's literally all that matters.
I mean, you say as long as it's super identifiable, and you also say as long as it's not unprofessional. But
what I say, I mean, like you're showing too much skin or something like that.
Okay, so that's your perception of super unprofessional. But some of these things are so subjective. What is super identifiable? I don't want to keep going back to this, but are these people super identifiable if they work at McDonald's?
Whatever. Honestly, if you're behind the counter at a McDonald's, then that's
okay. So enough. What if it's a retail store and they're wearing casual clothes?
Wear a name tag, a pin, or some type of hat. I don't know.
The lanyard usually is a dead giveaway.
Yeah, lanyard is fine. Whatever the store wants to implement, I don't care. But as long as there's something you can look at, see, oh, this person works there, and it's consistent. That's all that matters.
You're right, but I think it would matter what it is, because again, if it's if it literally isn't something that is out of the norm, then
we're being realistic here. Like, we're not gonna have belt buckles or something crazy. Like,
I mean, that is
Laying
the
your
point of a uniform, so you or part of the uniform, so you can identify with the company. If you're
yeah,
saying
that's
it,
why
if
like
you're saying as long as it's easily or identifiable, but like what's identifiable to you may not be identifiable to somebody else.
identifiable to anyone with common sense. Like it could be a vest, it could be a hat, again, it doesn't matter.
So you are putting some rules and regulations on it. It should be something like the vest or hat or something that you can identify like that.
Some type of identifiable item, yes, that does not apply to the entirety of what you're wearing.
I just think if you play loosey goosey rules like you're expressing, then people get crazy.
How is it loosey goosey?
Because you're saying as long as it's identified with somebody with common sense, but like that still doesn't really get you to where you might need to be for everybody.
There needs to be one common item that is easily identifiable. Beyond that common item, you can wear whatever you want. I don't see how that's like
I'm not
that's
stuck. I'm
very
not
easy
stuck.
to
I'm
implement.
not stuck on the what you're looking for. As long as it's one thing, I'm stuck on the what's identifiable.
We just talked about like five different things. I don't care about the identifiable. Like there's kind of standards of what is generally identifiable.
I
But
maybe we're talking past each other, but like at the
if you go into any random store and you're looking for an employee, what do you look for? You look for someone with either a walkie or a
I'll be
name
honest.
tag or like
I go based off the actions of it. I go based off who's stocking or who's like look like they're working. Because sometimes, and I'm gonna be honest, back in the day when I was working in these type of stores, there are some times where like if it's kind of later in the shift, I'm taking off parts of my uniform, rocking what I want. The only way you'd be able to tell that I'm working there is if I'm like bringing out equipment or supplies or stuff like that. Or if you see my walkie-talkie, which
and it's
is
store policy
if my
not to take
walkie-talkie is on like the bottom, it's like the right side of my thing, and it's kind of like tucked away. You might not even see that.
so it's store policy not to take off your specific identifiable item, but beyond that, like I'm not making any
Well,
rules.
if the store policy was where you can wear whatever you want and it can be casual, then that's already would be lost.
No, it wouldn't be because even if you're wearing casual clothing, you still have that identifiable item. That one item is the only thing that needs to be consistent. Everything else is on the table.
I'll be honest. I'm not. It's not
How is
me at
this a
all.
crazy concept, bro? If you have a lanyard, it doesn't matter if you wear a sweatshirt with it or a
The thing is,
t-shirt. You have the
I
lanyard.
kind of agree with the lanyard thing, but you're not saying it needs to be a lanyard. You're saying it can be
Why are you hung up on the item? The item is the least important
because
part.
not all items are equally identifiable. And I don't know why, and I don't know why you seem to not be able to understand this. Not everything's identifiable. A pin that's right here that says the company name might be identifiable to you, but it might not be identifiable to another person. So it's not necessarily all inclusive and identifiable.
I don't understand. If you walk into a store and
But if you're asking me, I
you
literally just
see
already
someone with a
I've
pin
already
of
just
the
told
store
you.
logo on it, how is that not identifiable?
Because you are assuming that somebody can easily see and determine a pin.
Then wear a vest. The identifiable item is the least important part of this to me, as long as it's something that's standard.
I mean, this is why we have more than two people
But this is
because we can.
unrelated to the uniform thing. This is not to me. This is completely separate. Like
No, it's right. It's right in line what we're talking about. But yeah, maybe I'll even tend to believe that maybe I'm the one speaking. So maybe you can weigh in on this, Ace. Um, yeah, when it comes to with this conversation of something being identifiable, does it make sense that like something that's identifiable to one person might not be it to another person? So it's almost better if it is a full on uniform, or am I tweaking?
I don't know. I think that makes sense. That you would want it. Well, the thing I mean, the problem I have with these is just the M is too small. Like, if they made the M bigger, then I'd be perfectly good with whatever form that the quote unquote uniform comes in. But yeah, I think really the main point of a uniform is to be able for customers to know who's an employee and identify an employee, even though it's with McDonald's maybe that's not as critical since the employees are
Behind the
mostly
counter.
behind the desk or behind the cash registers or whatever in the kitchen, but still, I mean, I think that's still probably the main point of any
Yeah, this
uniform.
is
And
something
then
that's more applicable for like a retail store, where it's like a large store, and there's like think of it like in a Walmart or a Target. If everyone
yeah,
walk around
exactly.
in plain clothes, how would you? Who do you go for if you need help?
Yeah, exactly. Um, and then what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and the other point. Oh yeah, the other point of the uniform is just like if it if you're doing a job that uh has some requirements, like some safety requirements or something, um that dictate what you need to wear, like that's part of the uniform as well. But again, that's not as critical, I think, in most retail or fast food or anything like that. I mean, besides in the back, the cooks. But yeah. So if the number one thing is being able to identify who's an employee and who's not, I think whatever form of clothing you allow the employees to wear, it should have like a logo or something big, like very easily seen.
I mean,
Okay, the, we know who's
that
who.
would make it a uniform then, because you're not probably gonna have a casual. You're probably not gonna have your own T-shirt that has a big McDonald's logo on it, or a big Burger King logo on it, or a big Walmart logo on it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care if it's. I don't care. I
You
don't
don't care
care if
what
it's gonna
form the
miss a
uniform
uniform.
takes, as
Yeah.
long as it. Okay, so going back to the quote unquote professional aspect of it, it can be PJs
Um,
and
I think
sandals and slides.
it should be anything that still allows the person to be able to perform their task well. I mean, obviously the company should think about the ramifications of customer um like the customer's impression of the company based on what the employee is wearing. So if you got your customers I mean if you have your employees
Employees.
dressing crazy and your customers are clowning them or they don't have a good opinion of the establishment anymore because of what they're wearing, it doesn't really matter how I don't know inclusive you're trying to be or whatever. If you're not making money, you got to change it. So that's that's gonna be the bottom line regardless.
Would you stop supporting your business if the uniforms are a bit unprofessional?
Um, probably. I mean, the only thing I
Seriously?
can think of is if it was too revealing.
Yeah, the
But I
revealing
don't
thing.
think
I
a
think
company
I
would.
think unanimously people would. Although, what
Yeah,
about Hooters? Isn't Hooters always in business?
yeah. Hooters is a place I'm not gonna go. Like
Oh yeah, yeah.
that's a great example.
Hey man, it's selling. Although I think there were some Hooters that closed down. Because in this day and age, that type of marketing isn't. You can get that on the internet. Um, yeah, I don't know. Maybe there was still some like miscommunication, but I think ultimately we're all on the similar page. If the customer can identify it, then I think we're gravy. And I think there is some level of threshold for like what's acceptable in a place of business, quote unquote. Yeah, ultimately, I don't know. A lot of times when companies will dole out these type of policies or like allowing their employees to do X, Y, Z, I think some people look at that like as like companies just trying to do the bare minimum when if they really want to really impress their employees, they would just pay them more. But I think this type of thing can go a long way. Especially, I don't know what the uniform McDonald's before, but I don't know if you have to wear some like stiff like shirt, buttoned up shirt, and now you can just wear a nice kind of comfy T-shirt and jeans. Even though I think jeans are uncomfortable. I think a lot of people would cool with that. And if it's depending on the time of day or the time of year, you might not want to wear whatever cap to give you. You might want to wear a beanie or a bucket. So I think that's dope too. So yeah, I think for a lot of retail and service establishments, more casual but still easily identifiable is definitely the wave, or could be the wave. At the end of the day, at Target, I think they all have to wear red. And if you go to Target wearing a red shirt, you're just asking for trouble.
Red with the khakis.
The khakis is kind of overdoing it, but I guess that is the model, isn't it? But if there's nothing else, we can move on to the next topic.